When you think of the evil within, the first thing that you think of is probably not Easter eggs. However, that doesn't mean that the game doesn't have its fair share. Sometimes, Ruvik just needs to let his hair down. Or, loosen his brain case, I guess. And these are the best examples of that, in my opinion. Now keep in mind that this is my opinion, and feel free to let me know what you think in the comments down below, as well as if I missed your favorite Easter egg in the first game. With all that being said, let's kick this video off with... Kicking off this list, we have an Easter egg from the first DLC to come to the game entitled The Assignment. This DLC adds 2 new chapters telling the events of the game through the eyes of Julie Kidman, and it and its follow-up DLC, The Consequence, have some of the best Easter eggs in the game in my opinion. So we'll be starting it off with this one. In the first chapter in the Assignment DLC, after you've learned a bit about the initial inception of the STEM system, you'll come to a dark hallway with a malfunctioning door at the end where you can just make out a woman standing with her head down in the distance. If you should so happen to approach the door and shine your flashlight upon the figure, then you'll be greeted by her slowly inching towards you every time the door closes. The girl is obviously meant to be Laura, which is a pretty awesome addition, considering we never really got to see her model used outside of the barn scene where she's like a ghost or something. This one is a personal favorite of mine because it plays into a little fan theory that I have about Laura being alive, which you may have seen me speculate on in a previous video. That being said, however, I put her at number 5 on this list because I think if you played the DLC, you probably caught this one in your first playthrough, so I put it a little closer to the bottom mainly for that reason. Next on this list, we have an Easter egg that it's possible you could have come across, but you'd have to be pretty damn paranoid for it to have been naturally. In the 4th chapter of the game entitled The Patient, at the very start you'll be in a relatively open area, with your objective being to enter into the home of Valerio Jimenez, brother of Marcelo, and see if he can help you out. However, if you've got some time on your hands, you may have gone exploring around the back of the house to see a large bonfire with a haunted about to barbecue, I think the only non-hostile, unspeaking NPC that you'll encounter in this game. I don't think it matters to the Easter egg if you do, but save her anyways, because you're a nice person, aren't you? And you know what? As retribution for her near-fiery fate, why don't you go ahead and show all those potential haunted in the area what it feels like to burn? There are 5 of them just hanging around, so show them the ways of the flame and get some payback for all the people that were probably used as kindling before you got here. And once you're done with that, head back to the bonfire, and as you've probably guessed by this point, giant pig. What's it here for? Don't know. What are you supposed to do with it? Don't know. But if you've got a mean streak and a thirst for some green gel, then killing it can net you quite a bit for your troubles. So if you don't know, The Evil Within is a game that was published by Bethesda Softworks, a publisher that has some pretty massive franchises under its belt, such as Doom, Wolfenstein, and my personal favorite, The Elder Scrolls. However, for this Easter egg, Tango decided to make reference to 2 other massive franchises that the studio has. In the 13th chapter of the game entitled Casualties, you may see several posters hanging up on various walls throughout the level, and if you should just so happen to go inspecting these posters, you may notice some very interesting things on them, such as this poster referencing the Hound Pits pub, a location from the first Dishonored game which acted as a central hub, as well as this poster, again from Dishonored, which references the Golden Cat, a brothel that you'll visit in the game in a mission. And if that wasn't enough references for you, you can also find this poster for sugar bombs, one of the most recognizable foods from the Fallout universe, as well as this poster saying, "Enjoy vault living," another obvious nod to the vaults that we often leave from at the beginning of the Fallout games. I personally always like these references to other games from inside of games. It gives them a sense of connection, I guess, so I figured I'd put them here on the list. The second Easter egg on this list comes from the second chapter of the first DLC release for the game, The Assignment. Just after you've briefly reunited with Joseph and Sebastian, both of them will undergo some head trauma and struggle with becoming haunted versions of themselves. While Sebastian flees holding his head, Joseph succumbs to the trauma and attacks Kidman, and the two get teleported to a laboratory of sorts. And it's here, while avoiding haunted Joseph, that it's possible to interact with a projector that's set up in the other room. And that projector has the potential to play one of 3 slideshows. The first is just a standard video that you saw earlier in the DLC, an indoctrination video that was shown to Julie in the beginning of her association with Mobius. The other 2 are much more interesting, however. One of these slideshows is an image of Joseph brandishing a katana. This one's pretty easy to see despite the quality of the video and the handprints on the screen. However, the final slideshow that can be shown features a blink and you missed it picture of Julie in a bikini, which is a pretty interesting Easter egg in my opinion. To me, it reminds me of the picture that you can find of Rebecca Chambers in Wesker's desk in Resident Evil 2. But either way, I think it's funny, so it earns the second spot on this list. Easily my favorite Easter egg in the first game has got to be the dancing shade. This is another one that takes place in the DLCs, however this one is in the second DLC entitled The Consequence. In the first chapter of that DLC, you'll find yourself in the KCPD building seeing flashbacks of a younger Sebastian and a younger Joseph discussing various topics before Kidman knew them. Upon leaving this location, you'll be in Crimson City. Continuing along the path, you'll come to this building just after pushing a few haunted off the sides of other buildings. In this little office space, there is a picture on the wall with a few fireworks that says, "A Happy New Year," as well as a vending machine that holds an audio track if you walk over to it and smack it. However, if you decide that you'd like to smack that machine a few more times, say 14 more times for a total of 15, and then just so happen to walk back over to the New Year's picture, you'll notice that the picture falls off the wall, revealing a little peephole for young Julie to peer through and see Like I said, this is easily my favorite Easter egg. It's weird to the point that when I first heard about it, I assumed it to be fake. However, it is completely real. Shade is my favorite enemy in the game, and I think this little addition just cements her that much more in that spot. Anyways, that's my list. What's yours? Let me know in the comments below what your favorite Easter eggs were in the first game. If you enjoyed this video, then please don't forget to leave a like, as it really helps me out, as well as subscribe for more videos like this in the future. With all that being said, I hope you enjoyed the video. I've been King Razzle, and I hope to see you all in the next one.